So speaking of the ethics and talking about improving lives, can you talk a little bit about that composition?
Sure. I was asked to put together a project, the 70th anniversary of the liberation of the Terezin camp for a nonprofit organization called Humanity in Action. And the premiere was at Carnegie Hall. And it was a response to a children's opera that was performed at the camp. It was called Brundibar. And until that point, I didn't write any vocal music. And the main trigger was to see and read that singing literally saved those children's lives. It saved their lives because they were allowed to live. And having spoken to some survivors, they said that rehearsing and performing and having music in their lives gave them something to live for. So it really, it got me very interested in the whole idea of what does music mean for professionals and non-professionals? How can it help? So it was a starting point. It's part of an ongoing project. The premiere was at Carnegie, and then we performed it together in Florida. I've done it in Washington, D.C., a few cities, and more recently in 3 cities in Canada. It was a project that was put together by a pianist and curator, producer Constanze Beckmann, in collaboration with the German ambassador to Canada. And it's ongoing, and there's more to come. I'll tell you in a bit.
Well, I'm excited to hear some more of that because I loved being part of that project. I mean, I met you and we became such good friends after that. So
Yes.
thank you. Thank you for your contribution to this kind of work. It's very important. So I know there were some incredible stories of survival in the camp. And what made you focus on this one in particular?
This one in particular was simply because I was asked to perform music by composers who perished in the camp. And there's some really excellent composers of music that was written, and it was performed frequently. I was so struck by Brundibar in particular that it just made me want to write something and in a way that's relevant to today. You know, at first I was wondering what happened with the survivors, what could have happened with the one who didn't survive, and what does it mean for today? You know, that was the main question on my mind.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And especially right now.
Exactly.
You know, I remember the interviews with some of the people that were survivors that you used a lot of the quotes. They're all real quotes from survivors in there, right?
Yes, exactly.
I'm putting on the spot right now. Would you be able to recite one of the most meaningful quotes?
There were 2 that I found to be particular interest by Ella Weisberger. She was the cat in the opera. I mean, it's hard to choose because there's so many good quotes from survivors. But she said that rehearsing music made her feel human again, with everything she and her friends had to deal with. So that, you know, so that was one which I thought was very powerful and very telling. The other was she was talking about her first love crush in the camp. You know, it's not something one would necessarily think about, but it's a very interesting and humanizing way of remembering what happened in the camp.
Wow, I got a little
Amazing that a teenager, you know, how beautiful that teenager could have that feeling and then hold on to that memory.
Oh my gosh, that is very human.
Yeah.
And beautiful and something to really think about and consider when we have to deal with so much dehumanizing rhetoric that's out there right now.
Yes, exactly.